Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today is October 30th, 2018, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a 22-year-old Cortez man walked away from a rollover crash near Mancos early Saturday morning with superficial injuries. Colorado Highway Patrol Trooper Josh Lewis said the single vehicle incident occurred on U.S. Highway 160 near Montezuma County Road 38 near about 1:30 a.m. Saturday. The driver of a 2006 Honda CR-V was returning from a date in Durango when the vehicle went off the westbound side of the roadway, then went back on the road before crossing both lanes and going over the eastbound shoulder, rolling 2 or 3 times down an embankment and stopping upright. Carter Pape, the driver of the Honda, said he was driving around a bend when another car was in his oncoming lane. He said he swerved and overreacted. Pape said the experience was unique. Lewis said it did not appear drugs or alcohol were involved. Pape, who recently moved to Cortez from North Carolina, was wearing his seatbelt. He was cited for careless driving. Pape said the date in Durango was not worth losing his car.
Who reported in the Journal, photo Sean Dolan, a male Montezuma Cortez high school student, was stabbed in the leg in an assault on Friday near Walmart. Police say there are 2 juvenile female suspects involved. Cortez Police Lieutenant Andy Brock said Monday morning that a female suspect was charged and released on Friday, and he believes another female suspect will be charged. He said the police report is still in draft form and officers will conduct interviews. It's all almost amongst juveniles, and there's still arrests to be made, he said. The male victim was transported to the emergency room by ambulance on Friday. Brock did not have information on the severity of the wound or a motive. He said one of the students took a video of the assault, but as of Monday morning, police did not have access to the video. About 1 p.m. Friday, police officers interviewed female high school students near the intersection of Cactus Street and East 3rd Street. About 1:20 p.m., a police officer left the Walmart parking lot and drove to nearby Big R Store's parking lot, where officers detained a female the police believe was involved in the incident. Montezuma Cortez High School sent out a notification email to parents on Friday afternoon, informing them that there was no known threat to students at the time. Quote, safety remains a top priority for our school and students, and we will continue to follow our safety plan and protocols, Deborah Ramsey, secretary to the high school principal, wrote.
According to the Durango Herald, Mancos has joined thousands of other cities around the world as it begins hosting a regular event known as a Death Cafe. The event is hosted by the Mancos Public Library and facilitated by the library's manager of development and adult programming, Sherry Dunn. The event is part of an international movement to normalize conversations about death and directly address people's fears about dying. Dunn says she was inspired by the Peregrine Book Company in Prescott, Arizona, which hosts its own Death Cafe events, and wanted to bring a similar event to Mancos. Dunn says that the point of the conversational events is not to discuss merely the logistics of death, but people's attitudes toward it. She wants to see people get past the fear of death so we can live our lives more fully. Mancos' first Death Cafe was held October 17th. Dunn says about a dozen people showed up, most of them older. She says she hopes to see more young people come to the next event, which will be at 5:30 p.m. November 11th in the Mancos Public Library.
Reported in the Durango Herald AP photo, a federal trial in Colorado could have far-reaching effects on the United States' budding marijuana industry if a jury sides with a couple who say having a cannabis business as a neighbor hurts their property's value. The trial, set to begin Monday in Denver, is the first time a jury will consider a lawsuit using federal anti-racketeering law to target cannabis companies. But the marijuana industry has closely watched the case since 2015, when attorneys with a Washington, D.C.-based firm first filed their sweeping complaint on behalf of Hope and Michael Riley. One of the couple's lawyers, Brian Barnes, said they bought the southern Colorado land for its views of Pikes Peak Peak and have since built a house on the rural property. They also hike and ride horses there. But they claim pungent foul odors from a neighboring indoor marijuana grow have hurt the property's value and their ability to use and enjoy it. An attorney for the business targeted by the lawsuit plans to argue the couple's property has not been damaged, relying in part on the county's tax valuations of the Riley's land ticking up over time. Vulnerability to similar lawsuits is among the many risks facing marijuana businesses licensed by states but still violating federal law. Suits using the same strategy have been filed in California, Massachusetts, and Oregon. Mirroring the Riley complaint, several claim the smell of marijuana damages neighboring owners' ability to enjoy their land or harms their property value. The question now is whether jurors accept the argument. They can claim a $1 million drop in property value, but if a jury does not agree and says $5,000, that's not that big of a deal, said Rob Mikos, a Vanderbilt University law professor who specializes in drug law. That's why there are a lot of eyes on the case. Congress created the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, better known as RICO, to target the mafia in the 1970s, allowing prosecutors to argue leaders of a criminal enterprise should pay a price along with lower-level defendants. But the anti-racketeering law also allows private parties to file lawsuits claiming their business or property has been damaged by a criminal enterprise. Those who prove it can be financially compensated for damages times 3 plus attorney's expenses. Starting in 2015, opponents of the marijuana industry decided to use the strategy against companies producing or selling marijuana products, along with investors, insurers, state regulators, and other players. Cannabis companies immediately saw the danger of high legal fees or court-ordered payouts. That concern only grew when a Denver-based federal appeals court ruled in 2017 that the Rileys could use anti-racketeering law to sue the licensed cannabis grower neighboring their property. Insurance companies and other entities originally named in the Riley suit have gradually been removed, some after reaching financial settlements out of court. Fewer than 5 people, including the owner, work for the company being sued, which sells its products to retail stores, said attorney Matthew Buck. Buck said he's confident jurors will decide the Riley's property has not been harmed. Buck warned, though, that defending against a similar lawsuit comes at a high cost for marijuana businesses, while plaintiffs with support from a large law firm have little to lose.
According to the Cortez Journal, Wolf Creek ski area has removed an estimated 4,000 trees killed from beetle infestation this summer on about 150 acres. Crews on the ground cut the trees down, and then a helicopter flew the dead trees out of the forest. Davey Pitcher, owner of the ski area, said the project removed hazardous trees and also mitigated some fire danger. But more than anything, he said it paved the way for a new ski lift and created some new beginner intermediate trails. The new Charity Jane Express is a retriever lift on the east side of the mountain that will remove the need for skiers to traverse back from Horseshoe Bowl to Alberta Peak. Because the trees had been dead for 5 or 6 years, the quality was not as desirable to the timber industry, so only about 20% of the wood could be sold. The rest will either be used as firewood or burned in a slash pile. In the mid-2000s, as the spruce beetle wreaked havoc across the southern San Juan Mountains, the ski area was right in its path. In just a few years, nearly all 1,581 acres of the popular ski area, about 23 miles east of Pagosa Springs, was hit hard by the outbreak, dramatically impacting the landscape. Total infestation is inevitable, and we urge the general public to embrace this reality, the ski resort wrote in 2013. And although the deadly spruce beetle has moved on, marching its way further west, the damage continues to be a problem for Wolf Creek, Pitcher said. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Looking at the national weather map, widespread heavy to excessive rainfall is possible from the Ohio Valley to the Gulf Coast, with severe thunderstorms possible from East Texas to Louisiana coming up on Wednesday. A mix of rain and snow is likely across portions of the Pacific Northwest, and heavy snowfall likely for portions of the southern Rockies, with rain-snow mix down to northern Arizona and New Mexico. For our specific region, the hazardous weather outlook states that a cold front will move through the area today, bringing some rain showers and snow to the central mountains and the San Juans. 2 to 4 inches is expected for the central mountains, with 3 to 5 inches for the San Juans. The highest elevations will likely see a few more inches than that. Outside of the mountains, plenty of clouds are expected. Temperatures will be cooler than seen lately. And that northwest flow sets up for Wednesday onwards, where disturbances will move through and bring some snow to the northern mountains and flat tops Wednesday and Thursday, and again Saturday and then on Monday. Here at the lower elevation, precipitation, if any, will be spotty. Locally, our DCTV 5-day outlook shows today showers likely mainly after 5 p.m. tonight. Cloudy with a high near 50 degrees. North winds around 10 miles an hour. Chance of precipitation is 60%. And then tonight, chance of rain and snow showers mainly before 7. Cloudy during the early evening and then gradually clearing with a low to a chilly down around 28 degrees. North winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, and the chance of precipitation drops to 40%. Then Wednesday, sunny with a high near 47. North winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 29. North-northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high just near 51. North-northwest 5 to 10 mile an hour winds. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 31. And Friday, it warms up a tad to sunny with a high near 56 degrees. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 34. And Saturday, sunny again with a high near 56. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 33. And again, Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 56. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 36. And now, back to the news.
From the Durango Herald, less than 2 months before the city of Cortez is expected to adopt a balanced 2019 budget, the proposed budget is running in the red, and the fiber optic internet installation program is draining hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from city funds. City council members sat down with some department heads on Thursday for the first of 2 budget workshops. Looming over the meeting was a budget deficit between $500,000 to $1.2 million. City Manager John Doherty said in an interview on Friday that the actual deficit figure is a moving target because the number of capital project requests and reserve fund balance has not yet been determined. Still, Doherty, who was hired as city manager in July, apologized to the city council for presenting an unbalanced budget. The fiber program is one culprit for the deficit. Cortez Finance Director Kathy Moss spoke in candid terms at the workshop about the program's sustainability. She said the high-speed internet technology is bringing in about $290,000 in revenue, with connections to the hospital, local schools, the county, and several businesses, but costs nearly $500,000 in operational expenses and $500,000 in capital costs this year. The $1 million cost is close to the level of revenue Cortez receives from marijuana sales. Moss told the city council she fears the fiber installation program, which has been going on for about 5 years, is at a danger point.
From the Durango Herald, photos Jerry McBride. Turns out, despite years of devastating drought in southwest Colorado, it doesn't take too long for the region's reservoirs to replenish. In 1977, southwest Colorado's 3rd lowest water year in recorded history, Vallecito Reservoir, which has a capacity of 125,000 acre-feet of water, hit an all-time low, hovering just above 11,000 acre-feet. But a strong snowpack year after the 77 drought in the San Juan Mountains nearly filled Vallecito Reservoir back up. In the spring of 78, the reservoir northeast of Durango was near capacity at 120,000 acre-feet. The other year of exceptional drought in recent memory and the lowest water year on record, 2002, brought water levels in Vallecito Reservoir to just under 15,000 acre-feet. 2 years later, the reservoir was almost full again, hitting 120,000 acre-feet. This year, we will go down as the 2nd lowest water year in recorded history, but despite the lack of precipitation, the lowest Vallecito Reservoir got was about 21,700 acre-feet around October 3rd, Canterbury said. But already an uptick in moisture in October has the region's reservoirs rising. To date, a weather station at the Durango-La Plata County Airport has recorded nearly 2 inches of precipitation this month. As a result of the recent moisture, Vallecito is back up to 24,100 acre-feet. And Lemon Reservoir, which has a capacity of about 40,000 plus acre-feet, is hovering around 6,625 acre-feet. The reservoir, also northeast of Durango, hit a low of about 5,670 acre-feet in the first week of October. A strong snowpack in 2017 provided some much-needed carryover for this year, he said, but still, water managers had to enact restrictions for water right users, giving more priority to more senior water right holders. This month's rain has definitely helped. We're a week or to 10 days ahead of schedule for snow, water, moisture in the high country at this time, Gabbert said. Right now, it's looking good as long as it continues. Aside from storing as much water as possible and strategically planning water releases, the rest is pretty much up to Mother Nature. Predictions for a moisture-heavy El Nino weather pattern this winter are a hopeful sign. Just seeing the snow on the mountains makes water managers feel better already.
Reported by the Durango Herald, the Colorado Department of Transportation has flooded its social media accounts with posts about unfunded construction projects ahead of an election that asks voters to consider increasing the agency's budget by millions of dollars. A steady flow of posts on Facebook and Twitter about proposed highway projects to improve safety or relieve congestion across the state began appearing this summer. The posts could be viewed as a public education campaign to help voters understand what will be achieved if voters support two ballot measures, Proposition 110, a sales tax increase, or Proposition 109, which would grant the state bonding authority. It could also be viewed as an attempt to garner more media attention ahead of an election that could drench the agency with new money if Proposition 110 passes, said John Caldara, president of the Independence Institute, a Denver-based libertarian think tank. The agency is not asking residents to vote a certain way, but it is posting information on these same platforms that reporters use to learn about car crashes and highway closures, which is likely an attempt to encourage new agencies to write stories, he said.
From the Journal, photo critic Shane Benjamin. Ballots sent to county clerks are now approaching the 500,000 mark, according to last Friday figures from the Colorado Secretary of State's office. Total ballots turned in as of that date numbered 468,366. Republicans continue to slightly outpace Democrats on ballot returns, with 168,065 sent in, with Democrats having now sent in 162,906. Unaffiliated voters have turned in 132,066 ballots. Compared to the same day from the last midterm election in 2014, the ballot returns lagged by some 50,000. The deadline for registering to vote and receiving a mail-in ballot from the county clerk was Monday, October 29th. However, anyone eligible to vote who hasn't registered can do so right up until 6:59 p.m. on Election Day, Tuesday, November 6th, at any county voting service center. It's suggested that at this point in time, you walk your ballot in instead of mailing it. To check your voter registration or to find out if your ballot has been accepted by your local county clerk, go online to govotecolorado.com. And be sure to tune in on November 6th starting at 6 p.m. for live election night coverage on Channel 32.1 DCTV and also streamed live to our Facebook page. The local race results should be available shortly after 7 p.m.
According to the Durango Herald, U.S. health regulators have approved the first new type of flu drug in 2 decades. Wednesday's approval of Xofluza for people ages 12 and older comes ahead of the brunt of this winter's flu season. Xofluza is a pill that can reduce severity and shorten duration of flu symptoms after just 1 dose. It was developed by the Roche Group and Shionogi and Company. It works about as well as Tamiflu, Roche's older flu treatment, which is also available in cheaper generic versions. Tamiflu is taken twice daily for 5 days. Health officials have said an estimated 80,000 Americans died of flu and its complications last winter, the disease's highest death toll in at least 4 decades. The severe flu season increased demand for Tamiflu and led to spot shortages. Roche's Genentech unit plans to launch Xofluza within a few weeks. It will cost $150 without insurance. The need for only 1 dose is an advantage since patients don't always take their medicine, said Dr. Mark Eisner, Genentech's head of development of infectious disease medicines. Each year, flu typically kills about 12,000 to 56,000 Americans and up to 650,000 people worldwide.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. This Saturday, November 3rd, it's the 27th annual Christmas Bazaar hosted by the Dove Creek Recreation Department, featuring local talented artists, jewelry exhibitors, photographers, cooks, and more to showcase their talents and treasures at the Dove Creek Community Center. Come get a jump on your holiday shopping and enjoy some great food and holiday treats. The The Methodist Church will be serving their famous chili for lunch, so be sure to stop in. And though you may have already celebrated Halloween over the weekend, on Wednesday the 31st, come celebrate All Hallows Eve on Wednesday night with a great evening of costumes, merriment, and fantastic music by State 38 at the Dolores River Brewery. That starts at 8 p.m. and runs to midnight. Also over in Dolores, it's the 18th annual Treasures by Trudy Craft Boutique. That's Friday, November 2nd from 4 to 8 p.m. and Saturday, November 3rd from 10 to 2 p.m. And in Dove Creek, the Chamber of Commerce is having an open meeting this Thursday, November 1st from 1 to 2 p.m. at Wild Coffee to discuss the opportunities for a December 1st Home for the Holidays Christmas Market and other celebration activities for December in town. Come out and share your ideas and volunteer to keep the Christmas spirit in full gear this year. If you can't make the meeting, call 970-560-2856 or email your input to manager@dovecreekchamber.com. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area. And of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.